everyone. Thank you for coming to this session, information session on leading an Invest for Better circle. And it's nice to see some people I know and some people I don't know. So thank you. I am Ellen Remmer, and I am co-founder of Invest for Better, and with Janine Firpo, and I'm delighted to also, if you don't know her already, but I think several of you do, Jasmine Tenge, who is our program director. So we love doing these sessions. We're excited to talk with you about what it means to lead an Invest for Better circle, because for us, this is kind of the core of Invest for Better. So Janine and I started Invest for Better. And I should just mention, sorry, before we get going, as you can see, we are taping this because we do know that some people were not able to make today. So we will be, that's why we're taping it. So thank you for your patience on that. So for those who don't know the story, Janine and I really founded this organization basically out of our own personal experiences, wanting to invest according to our values and running up against various challenges. And we found each other, and I piloted a circle. Janine wrote a book. We then did some more circles and decided that this was really something that had traction and appeal and had incredible power and potential in terms of the capital ecosystem. So we founded it about not quite 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, as an independent nonprofit after operating as a project for a few years. And our mission is to empower women to understand the power of their investments, learn how to align them with their values, and activate them for a more just and sustainable world. And the way what we provide is the Invest for Better Circle experience, which is really part of our core program and core curriculum. We provide some training to help circle leaders lead a peer group of women on this journey. There's an opportunity to have a membership in our trusted community where we have an internal platform, as well as the trusted community of the circles. And then we provide a whole bunch of other things that we believe provides robust education about values aligned investing. We're going to give you a little bit more of an overview. The way this is going to work is I'm going to give you a little bit more of an overview of Invest for Better circles, of the why and the what, how they're structured. And then Jasmine is going to go into the how and some of the, how you do it, and give you a better understanding of what it might require of you. Do you think this is a right fit for you, and what the process is? So that's how it's going to go. And we encourage you, please send any, we'll obviously have time for questions, but if things come up as we're going through this meeting, please put them in the chat. So I think we decided, again, several of you I think know us quite well, but some of you don't. And so a little bit more on the why we are doing this is in the following video we're about to show, which is kind of our anthem brand video about why we're doing this.
Great. Money is power. So you work hard to get it, and you work hard to keep it. You're doing well, but you also want to do good. For you, it's not just about wealth creation. It's also about being in alignment with your values. But investing your money and making decisions about where to move it can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? How do I know what I'm invested in? What if I'm funding things I don't agree with, like fossil fuels, prisons, tobacco, weapons? How do I move those funds and to where? What if I make a mistake? The current financial system was built by men for men. And while most men learn from other men how to use the system to their advantage, a lot of women don't have those conversations. You feel like you don't know enough to take action with your money, and you don't have time to figure it out on your own. Women are more likely than men to give to charity as their income rises, but we don't trust ourselves as investors. It feels like the financial system doesn't speak to us. You're frustrated with what feels like a flawed financial system. You realize that you're not in control of your own money. What if we told you there's a better way? At Invest for Better, we are leading a movement to build a better system that aligns with our values. We're doing this by educating women on a different approach to investing. It's not about giving money away, and it's not about profit at all costs. Values-aligned investing is about investing in what matters to you and getting great returns along the way. Things like sustainable food and agriculture, supporting female small business owners, or clean energy. We can help you do this. Invest for Better is a values-aligned money academy with peer-led investing circles and a trusted community built by women for women. We are a movement that is reimagining investing. We've created a values-aligned investing curriculum that demystifies the financial system. Our peer-led investing circles help you learn how to use your investments as a force for meaningful change. And more than anything, we are a trusted community of women who encourage each other to take action and have fun along the way. Unlike guides you've had in the past, an advisor who talked down to you, a book that told you to just save more than you spend, we're not interested in perpetuating the status quo. We're here to help you step into your power. Join the ranks of all the fierce women who are courageous enough to do things differently. Join the women who are leading the way with Invest for Better.
So we know we're preaching to the choir here, but I still love seeing that video because it really is why we're here. So Invest for Better circles. Again, I know several of you are familiar with these. As Maria wrote in the chat, she's in the original Invest for Better circle, although it's changed a lot since then. And we're constantly trying to strengthen it. So we've actually made some changes in this upcoming cohort. So the Invest for Better circle, as we said, are these peer-led circles. They have historically, this will be the 8th cohort of circles. And they have historically been a 6-month experience. We actually, this time around, based on lots of feedback, are turning them into a 3-month experience, which means it will be 2 meetings a month. We'll get into more details on that later. So we run them in these cohorts. We're going to have 3-month core circle experience launching in April. This cohort, there'll be the next one will be in September. We've come to understand that a group of about 8 to 20 women make the most sense in terms of making it work. There's always going to be times where people cannot attend, and so but it's important to kind of have at least 5 people attend the meeting. So, and some of them are able to, we've got some circles that are up to 20. It gets a little unwieldy for 20. So that's the core circle experience, and we'll be getting into that in a little bit more detail. And then we also do offer other, what we call deep dive circle experiences throughout the year. Our next one is underway shortly around investing for a sustainable environment, which we've run before. Most people are not doing them simultaneously because it's a bit of a lift. Some people also, we also run a financial basics circle in a partnership with a couple of women. So some women decide they're going to start with that, but it's often this core circle. Next slide. All right, bear with us on one more quick video, which describes a little bit from both leaders and members, their experience and why they got so much value.
Invest for Better circles are doing is I just believe this is capturing kind of a movement, a feeling across the country that I'm noticing, and I'm sure many of you are. That's why we're all here today, that women are just like ready to be empowered about their money in ways that we never have, that we historically have not been. Just say if there's any ounce of you that's a little bit nervous or feeling, what have I gotten myself into? I felt that way, and now I'm like, oh, you know, that was not an issue. This is a community. We're all here together, learning together. You don't have to know all the things. We're all, and it's just great that you're doing this, and let's get more of these circles happening all across the country.
I joined an Invest for Better circle to meet and collaborate with other women to move the needle on racial justice investing in particular. The circle led me to recruit other women with influence into deeper impact investing, and I've got a list of action steps to further align money with values, both in my own portfolio, but also with the organizations I'm involved with, like my denomination's endowment and a local foundation. Join the circle and spread the word. It's an awesome experience.
A couple of years ago, I started an Invest for Better circle so that I could learn alongside other women in my community about how to shift our money to align with our values. And I'm so glad I did. Not only have I made personal changes in where my money is invested, but I've also been able to learn alongside others. And we've built an amazing network of women who are learning and growing and making change. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Invest for Better network, and I hope you'll join too.
Perfect level for our members to be having these conversations. Some of the feedback we've gotten from them is that, not ready to really create my, official plan just yet, but I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much more fluent. I have increased awareness. Now when I see a news article about impact investing, I feel a part of the conversation, and just feeling more ready to have those conversations in their households and establish a plan.
Really enjoyed was really diving into how you personally view money. I actually took some of this learning and over the weekend worked with my own family to figure out some of our own financial archetypes and different things like that, and it brought up some really, really interesting discussions that I think will really help our family personally.
This is such a great way for me to continue to grow my own understanding of this and really be able to figure out what kind of actions I want to take to create a space where everybody could just bring whatever you're bringing to the table and let's learn together. And that's really what it is. It's about, let's just learn together and find out about this stuff. It was also a really great way for us to continue to build a network beyond ourselves into these other, incredibly smart, intelligent, funny, wonderful women that are doing some really amazing work.
I love hearing from the leaders. We actually just had a leader meeting yesterday, and it's just always so great to hear about these people who have been financial advisors for years, but they've never spent time on their own portfolio, for instance, and the kind of changes they've made. Anyway, so as I mentioned, we're moving into our 8th cohort with this next set. So there's been, we keep forgetting to keep counting up, but it's probably been about 115 circles. Well over 1,000 people have been in circles, which is exciting. And that's not even counting this kind of European adaptation. Jasmine's about to go to Europe and find out a little bit more about how they're doing next week. But of the core program that we've been doing here in the United States, we've, in terms of finding the results, we know that there's been tremendous satisfaction in terms of recommending the circle experience. Over 90% recommend involvement in circle to others, and over 90% have taken concrete steps during the course of the circle experience. About 50% have actually moved money into investments within that 6 months in the past. It's been hard to find out what they've done. After that, we know for some of them, they're poised to, and they're about to make some changes. But a lot of the changes are more subtle, and they certainly are all start to become advocates about values-aligned investing. And when they tell us what they appreciate the most, it is often about strengthening their network of like-minded investors, just feeling confident to ask the questions and to engage in this conversation. So when we first began this Invest for Better, it was a very relaxed curriculum with a lot of guest speakers. I mean, we had a structure to it, but when we came together with Janine, she has this amazing book, which you'll all receive a copy of if you decide to become a leader or a member. And with the help of an amazing educator, Jill Bamberg, who who was the first dean of the Bainbridge Graduate School um, of Education around impact investing. We created a more structured curriculum. We still try to keep it as open so you can adjust it in whatever way you want, but it does provide tremendous background. It becomes a resource for members in the circle and for the leaders. So the curriculum is around, the first part is around your relationship with money, and it's around your goals about what you want to accomplish with your investment assets. So those are some really powerful sessions around that. Then there's a whole section, again, aligned with this book, where you can understand the different asset classes and values aligned investment approaches. And then in the book and in the curriculum, we talk about support structures, financial advisors, all those other ways that you can learn to invest your money. So the core curriculum models, diving a little deeper here. The money story one is amazing. And if you decide to become a leader, I think this is the one, right, Jasmine, that we give people a taste of during one of our training sessions. So that's fantastic. And then people come into the circles with, you decide on who you're recruiting, but typically we have people of a wide range of experience in investing. So we try to structure this in a way so that it is useful to people at all levels. So for many, that's why we need to spend some time talking about, risks and what your risk profile is, which is in the second module. Then there's then the third one is really about giving people a sense of how you put together a portfolio. These are all big topics that we could do 6 sessions on for each of them. But we try to do it with an overview, and there's lots of detail that your members or you can go deeper on. And then the next 2 sessions start looking at specific asset classes. And there's a little bit of dividing your members up, but looking at public markets, both equities and bonds, and then looking at the variety of private markets and alternatives. Oh, in the public markets, I think that's where we also look at cash. And then in the last one, there's the financial advisors, your personal goals and next steps. Although you'll see throughout the curriculum, there's a building process so that by the end, everybody will have some kind of a investment policy statement. Very simple generally, but they'll have started to fill in the pieces so they've got their goals set and they've got what their next steps are. Because that's what we're trying to do, is help them develop that structure and confidence to move their money. That's what it's all about, getting their money moved. The meetings, people, since COVID, most of them been in Zoom, although we have some really powerful meetings, powerful groups that have decided to do it all in person. I did a group last summer where we did a hybrid, some on Zoom and some in person. So there's a little bit of, there's, again, something for you to choose should you decide to go forward. If you've got a large group, we've got lots of ways where people break up into small groups and go a lot deeper and then come back to the large group. So there's a relationship development both in the smaller group and your larger circle. You will set your schedule. Again, we're experimenting this time with the 2-a-month meetings. So the idea is, and we can get into the recommendations on how to do that schedule to maximize participation. Next meeting, next slide. Being a circle leader. I should do this slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I've touched on this already a little bit, but why leader, co-leader circle? And I'll be curious why you all, I know some of you, but for some of the others, why you're thinking about doing it. Like anything, when you lead it, you get a lot more out of it than when you just participate in it. And this is what we hear from a lot of people, why they do it, and what becomes valuable to them. As I mentioned earlier, for some, it's about deepening their investment knowledge. They may know a lot about investments, but haven't found the structure to do it with their own values. Maybe they were trained in a different way, or they haven't spent time on their own. For many, it's about having this community of supportive peers. And Maria can attest to the fact that our circle, which started many, many years ago, it's really lovely. It's a great network where people continue to invest together and support each other. So that's really the network to source and share investment ideas. For some people, and I'm sure from the people I know on this list, you have a lot of leadership experience. For some people, facilitating this kind of a group, championing for others is a good developmental experience. And then what we find, the reason most people do it is because they want to be a champion for advancing women's investment literacy. And they really want to grow this as a movement. For some of them locally, for some of them, as a global movement.
Great. Thanks so much, Ellen. And it's wonderful to see such a magnificent group of women here hoping to possibly do this. And so in addition to these benefits of kind of personal growth and social change and transformation, we do have a set of sort of perks that we offer to leaders to make this experience more enriching to you. And first off, we give you an opportunity to become a member of the Invest for Better community if you aren't already. And it's at the level of this new premium membership that we offer, which is basically access to all of our courses, including the deep dives that Ellen mentioned earlier. So during or after your leader experience, you'll have another 9 months to take advantage of all of these courses that are focused on specific themes or asset classes. Normally they're $100 each a la carte, but as part of the premium membership, it's all included. We, as Ellen mentioned, also provide a copy of Activate Your Money and a toolkit for you to lead, to use as guidance to lead the meetings, which we'll describe in a little bit more detail shortly. And then a whole host of other resources on our online platform, including, for example, archives of all of the webinars that we've had in the past. And so there's a real wealth of knowledge that you can tap into as a member. And then actually as a leader, there's a whole nother little pool of talks on leadership oriented themes that are relevant to being a leader that we have available. So so lots to draw upon in terms of your growth as as an investor and as a leader in this community. And for the first time ever, we're actually offering a stipend to our leaders as a thank you. And if you lead solo, that's $500. Or if you decide you want to co-lead, we'll do $300 for each of the 2 co-leaders. And we are offering folks, and I think if you go through the application, you'll see there's an opportunity if you prefer to donate that to charity. That's certainly an option, or we can just pay you with a check directly. So in terms of what the role actually entails, I'm just going to go through sort of the central pieces of it. A significant one is bringing folks into your circle, and so your role is primarily as a convener and holder of the space. We aren't really positioning the leaders as instructors. You're really, it's designed to be a peer-led model, but you're the one who's inviting and convening the women in your circle. So we encourage folks to go to their friends, family, professional networks, and so forth. We do have women who come to us, and sometimes we can help direct them to your circle, but for this cohort in particular, we're really encouraging women to come in with at least 8 circle members, or you don't have to do that before you start, but by the time your circle starts, we really would like you to have at least 8 women, just to ensure that you've got adequate critical mass for robust conversations. Then you're going to kind of orient them to the circle experience. We provide a lot of resources to them directly, but you're, really their resource to check in and just make sure that they're grasping what's expected and what's happening when. And in terms of the schedule of the meetings themselves, that's pretty much entirely within your control. Meaning, we would like these circles to begin in April and be finished ideally by the end of June, but the exact schedule, day and time is completely up to you as a leader. You'll set up the Zoom sessions, or if you decide you can meet in person, decide on where that's going to be and so forth. And then facilitating the sessions. We do provide a pretty robust framework in terms of content, slide decks, discussion questions. So there's not a lot of prep that you need to do in the way of, deciding on how you're going to present the material. The model is really designed to be participants absorb the content in their self-study work between sessions. So they're doing a lot of reading, watching videos, working on worksheets, etc. in between their meetings, and they're coming together to talk about it. And so the conversation is really generally the essence of that 90-minute session. And so I just want to make sure people, feel comfortable in that role. We do find it really great when women who are leading have some expertise in financial services or their own, investing experience. But you're not expected to be, teaching this from scratch by any stretch. We do offer leader check-ins where leaders can get together and kind of have a little community amongst themselves. It's really a wonderful way to kind of get to know women more deeply, who are also in the leader role. It tends to be really interesting, spectacular women. And so I get to participate in those and sort of coordinate those meetings every month. And it's just a great opportunity to, to swap stories and get support amongst that group, which is really nice. And then we just hope that you'll, share back with us how it's going. We do have some surveys built into the curriculum for your members, but we're always looking for feedback from the leaders about how to optimize the experience. And so staying connected to us through the experience and afterward is something that's also important. And then in terms of the supports that we provide you with to kind of help along the way, we can certainly provide some support in matching you up with a co-leader if that's something that would be interesting to you. And that includes matching with other leaders who are new, or possibly matching with a former leader. We do have some of those sort of on deck. Some of those women who've led before are in the wings, interested in leading this spring, and possibly available to pair up with you if that's something that you'd be interested in. We are trying to keep the recruitment sort of more in the domain of the new leaders. So again, that experienced leader wouldn't necessarily be able to bring half the circle herself, but if you feel like you've got people but could use some extra support or expertise, we can certainly help you connect with someone who could provide that. We do have training available for each module. So we've got a 5 to 10 minute video that is sort of walking you through your role as a leader for that specific meeting. I mentioned the monthly group check-ins, but we also are providing continual support to you along the way in whatever in whatever form is most useful for you. So we can jump on a Zoom and troubleshoot something. We can chat inside our membership platform, talk on the phone, whatever is useful. But the takeaway is that we're really here for you every step of the way in order to kind of make this a successful experience for you and your circle members. And then we also have a private leader group in the Mighty Networks, and that's just sort of another facet of this another benefit of sort of being part of this leader community, which again tends to attract really interesting women doing all sorts of exciting things, and a lot of times they really enjoy getting to know each other there. So recruiting for your circle, we really encourage folks to look for the people in your life who have been really waiting for an opportunity like this. I think for a lot of folks, we have a desire that's been maybe longstanding to take some action on this, but have not had the right opportunity or the right push to just really dive in. And so, we're not expecting you to sell this to people who aren't interested, but I think that if you can tap into communities of people like you who are passionate about this and looking for this opportunity, it's really, providing a wonderful opportunity for them to take part. And we can help you with materials to support that kind of invitation and recruitment process. We will have a webinar, a live webinar, for example, that will provide information live to women who are curious about learning more and possibly joining a circle, for example. We'll also be putting together a landing page that'll be customized to you, that you can use to share with women as you're sort of marketing your circle. So it'll have your profile, it'll have all the basics about the circle experience, and it's a link that you can share, put in the email, post online, and get the word out, and allow women to come and learn more about this opportunity. And another really important thing to know is that we've set this up so that Invest for Better has done sort of a little bit of a revamp of its pricing this year, but in order to really support you in your recruitment, we've decided to give your members a pretty big discount on a kind of combined membership and course purchase. So membership is $50, and we're offering them the course, which is normally $200, for a 75% discount. So for another $50. So the membership and the course together is $100. That gets them the experience with you, and then the full year of all of our benefits. And so we think it's a really great deal. And in terms of what we're expecting from the participants in your circles, and what you would be communicating to them about that experience is, it is important for them to try to take part in the meetings as consistently as possible, recognizing that life happens. So there is a bit of homework, self-study before each module. So that's something that is going to be important for them to have some time in their life to do, and some determination to do. And then coming and participating in these 90-minute sessions twice a month. We do have a process at the beginning of the circle experience where groups decide on some ground rules together around confidentiality and so forth. So obviously honoring those is important as a participant. And then something that we've sort of piloted recently that's been really successful is having these triads or these pairs who check in between meetings and kind of keep each other on track with their self-study, or just kind of keeping momentum within the group. So that's something that we invite folks to do in addition to the meeting schedule. So that would be another brief check-in, probably on the off weeks, where they could just check in and see how it's going and encourage each other to get whatever self-study done between those sessions. So in terms of how we deliver all of this content to members, we have an online platform. It's using a provider called Mighty Networks, and it's where we host all of our curricula, We have access to our events there. We have kind of a community conversation hub. People can ask questions of each other. We do offer leaders the opportunity to have a private group for your circle, so you can chat online together. It's almost like a, you know, a private Facebook or LinkedIn without all of the distractions and ads. And so you can come together, you can post things, you can ask questions and chat and so forth. And for some circles, that's something they really find beneficial. We also have recordings from our previous webinars and other resources, and access to our other member benefits like discounts and so forth. So all of that's hosted on a platform where you get a login and have full access to that when you become a leader or a member. And so we do have a few more little testimonials, but I wanted to make sure we have time to talk about next steps and questions, and then we'll come back to those if we do have a few extra minutes. So if you decide you want to move forward with this, a great next step is to take a look at and fill out our leader application form, which you can get to on our website. And it's really just, you know, designed to sort of ask you about your intentions and goals for this experience, and also whether you're interested in finding a co-leader, who you're looking to recruit, how confident you are that you can recruit enough women for your circle, etc. We will be reviewing those and getting back to folks no later than the 20th. And in general, it's fairly straightforward. So I don't think if you're confident that you can find the women to lead your circle, we are very much behind you in getting started. If you feel like you may need to find someone to really help with different parts of that, it may become we just may need to try to kind of work some of those things out, match you up with someone, etc. So we will be doing that. Once we get your application, we'll take a look and see if there are things that sort of you're going to need some help with in order to kind of launch successfully, and we can try to brainstorm that, try to pair you up with someone if needed, etc. Thinking about women who you'd like to invite, obviously, is a big one. And some of you I know already have been talking about this and getting some momentum going on that, which is great. And if you haven't, that's totally fine. We're going to have resources available, and like I said, a webinar you can invite women to, or send them the recording of, that'll give them some more information. So you'll have a lot of a lot of materials that will help you inform women about this opportunity. And then we have a two-part leader training. The first of which is going to happen in late February on the 27th, and it's 90 minutes. We are going to do sort of an actual immersive experience, much like the first circle meeting, where you kind of get broken up into a group and have this money story discussion, and then we have some other sort of elements to that meeting on the 27th. The meeting in March is really kind of getting into the logistics of preparing for kicking off, and we're hoping that within the first 2 weeks of April you'd be having your first meeting. So it's it would be a busy early spring. The commitment for the circle leaders tends to be biggest at the beginning, and then once things are underway, it tends to temper quite a bit. So I think we do have on the website, we have an estimate of the number of hours, and I think it can depend on a lot of things, but it's certainly heaviest in that kind of March time frame, March and April, and I'd say May and June will probably be much less intense in terms of your time commitment, but no more than a few hours a week for sure. All right, so let's pause here for questions. Actually, I'm going to just put one
So what brought me to
testimonial and then we'll
lead
go to questions.
was I was first a participant in a circle, and I really got so much out of it. I learned so much, even though I do work in investments. There was so much knowledge out there that I was able to garner from the women in my circle. And I love the collaborative aspect of Invest for Better. And I just wanted to share it forward and teach other women what I was learning about. So that's really how I got involved as a leader. And I continue to learn as a leader from my circle. So I think it's a circle that keeps rolling forward, if you will.